Hey YouTube, you might have watched my previous video and liked it on why buying things now makes sense to secure your future. What I would like you guys to do is please like, share and subscribe these videos so as to reach a wider audience. People need to know the realities and what to do more. Now, this is the second part of the series on how to secure your future and steps. In the first step, I had suggested to you guys that you need to buy things now, tangible goods that you use, that you need every day or every week or every month now, so as to beat inflation, preserve your savings, and avoid uncomfortable situations from arising in the future because you never know what the future holds. Things are not the same anymore. You can't take things for granted. System in place has been shaken up substantially and is going to be shaken further in the future. Now, this is the second part. In the first part, I suggested you to hoard, or maybe hoard is not the right word, store food, can perishable products like fruits, vegetables, and meat for those of you who eat them, freeze dry them. Uh, there are many technologies available for that, and check up on it and invest in storage and refrigeration. In this video, I would ask you to start investing in tangible production. Now, what do I mean by tangible production? Production of goods or things that people or you actually need. So that would include food products. If you cook stuff and sell it, that is tangible production because people need to eat. So food, water are the two most important things that people need almost every day. If you invest in a small scale food production, you not only secure your own needs to a certain extent, but you also have the possibility that you may sell the surplus and make some money. So easiest thing for those of you who are into meat, who are non-vegetarian, would be investing in chickens or hens, egg-laying hens, poultry. So there is a lot of literature uh, on how to raise poultry. You don't need a lot of space for that. You can even do it in an urban flat. However, if you have a suburban home where you have some amount of space, such as your own roof, uh, your own house roof, or your parents' houses, wherever, you may invest in a slightly larger setup. So, egg laying hens would eventually be a breeding center of hens. So they would lay eggs, and some of the eggs you would obviously eat or you give to others or sell, and some of the eggs you would preserve in order to so that chicks might grow out of it because animals die after a certain age. So you need to continue the cycle. The best way to do it is to continue through reproduction of your own flock of chickens rather than buying new chicks or buying new chickens from the market, which is expensive. So you buy a cock, a hen, and you have a lot of hens who lay eggs. So reproduction happens. Eggs are laid. Some of the eggs are consumed or sold, and some of the eggs are allowed to hatch and become new chicks, who in turn grow up to become chickens. Now this harnesses the power of reproduction in animals. Breeding is really the engine of food production, and you become self-sufficient in protein because protein prices, especially egg and chicken prices, are going to go through the roof and have been rising constantly in the last decade if you haven't noticed, because more and more people in India are turning to chicken and eggs. Vegetarian people are increasingly becoming non-vegetarian, and consumption is increasing. People are eating more, but the production is not matching up to the demand. Hence, the prices are increasing. Supply chains get disrupted. Only a few states produce chicken commercially, eggs and chicken. So, invest in hen eggs production in your home. Small scale at first, try to meet your own demand of your own household, and or even partially. You won't be able to meet even the entire demand of your house, but even if you are able to meet partial demand of your house, you would have achieved something. You would have attained a certain level of security. Hens are good. If you have the land, you might want to look into digging ponds and filling the pond with water and fishes, and start a small scale fishery in your house. Now you may have to look up the local laws wherever you reside, because the every state and every district or municipality have their laws regarding fishery, fishing, digging ponds, uh, and also many states have schemes to help people to raise fishes in their own backyards. So you might look up whether there are any certain schemes of your own state government or your municipality or your district, Zilla Parishad, whatever, which would actually give you subsidies or help you with certain technologies to dig ponds, fill them with water, and how to raise fishes commercially, or even if not commercially, then for your own use. So, for example, West Bengal has Jol Dharo scheme, which is a scheme of the state government, where they would help you to harvest rainwater, dig ponds, harvest rainwater for filling the ponds, and then put fishes into it for farming. Firstly, for your own use, and then so you can sell the surplus. This again is a very good source of protein, because fish prices and fish availability is very pretty bad now, especially both for seawater and for freshwater fishes. Uh, if you're a protein eater, you need protein. Even if you are not a bodybuilder or someone who eats more protein, but most fish eaters or chicken eaters need these things regularly. And the availability and prices in the market are going haywire right now, as I had said. So these are two things that you do. I'm not suggesting planting crops right now. That is something to be done later stage. You might start gardening, small scale gardening, and raising certain small crops like peas, or if you have the space in your house, or existing fruit trees. If you have coconut trees, then all the better. But the overall message is that you need to invest in actual food production of things, stuff, rather than being a consumer. Because what else you do is that you work for someone in an office, they sell your labor and they earn money, and give a part of the money earned from your labor and as well as the means of production owned by them to you as a salary. You use the salary to buy things that you need, you consume. So what you become is essentially a consumer. You are a consumer of food, you are a consumer of electricity, you are a consumer of water, you are a consumer of entertainment. You consume and you don't produce anything. You are living a life of you are living a life of dependence on others. You are not becoming self-sufficient. So try to get into the mode of production rather than consumption. Consumption, obviously, you are consuming everything, but try to produce for your own consumption. I'm not saying you will become 100% self-sufficient, because after all, everyone can't produce everything that one needs. One needs salt. Where would one produce salt in your own home? It is possible, but it is not worthwhile. You might need oil, cooking oil or coconut oil, whatever. It is possible to produce in your own home, but it is not sustainable every time. It's too much of a headache. So try to get into this mode. So physical things also, you might want to see if you can make any handicraft things, cups, cutlery, whatever, at your home, and for your own need as well as to give to friends who may need them and sell in the market. Try to set up small scale business like this, so that you sell your surplus production and you earn some money, so you are not dependent on your job or your market also entirely for your survival. Chalo, I hope whatever I said has been helpful, would be helpful, and you would research more on whatever I said. I am just giving you some thoughts to start your mind. Now you should study and research more on these topics, and share and discuss in the comments below what your thoughts are. I would be very happy to reply to them also. And please like, share, and subscribe this video so that it reaches a wider audience. Thank you. See you guys later.